Revenge of the Mage was developed and published by Singing Giant, and a special thank you to them for providing me with the code enabling me to check out the game. And the game is currently in early access with a price of $4.99, which is actually a great price for this kind of game in all honesty. There is also a demo available on Steam, so you can even check it out for free anyway, so always do that. Demos are definitely a good thing. But Revenge of the Mage is essentially an arena shooter. You take control of one of 4 classes, 3 available at launch. One you start with, which is the Fire Mage, and then by playing the game and gaining gold, you unlock the Ice Mage, the Arcane Mage, and the Lightning Mage, but at the time of playing, the Lightning Mage was unavailable. Like I said, it's an arena shooter with some roguelite essences as well. You run around levels and have to kill X amount of enemies, then go and defeat the boss and move on to the next level. All the while you level up your character and choose what buffs you want to equip, like increased speed, critical hit damage, ability cooldown, shorteners and all that kind of jazz. And also the different types of enemies are pretty cool as well. There's a good variety there, like ranged units, flying units, heavy units, and obviously the light units as well. So there's quite a lot to shoot the crap out of, and of course, as you can see with the Fire Mage, you launch your fireballs, your main source of annihilating things. But of course, when you die, you keep a good chunk of gold and whatnot, but on your next playthrough, your character is then back to level 1 again. So it does add to replayability and try new things and all that kind of stuff, but just bear that one in mind. Now, the game plays very, very well with some really good controls, and the abilities also look pretty cool, are very easy to use, and they don't take too long to cool down anyway, even with base stats, so I was pretty impressed with that. I mean, one of the abilities is bringing down a meteor, the other one is like powering up a massive fireball to throw with a good area of attack, and also another one is launching yourself up into the air and then smashing down to the ground superhero landing style, which is pretty cool. And there is also a gameplay mechanic here that the developers have borrowed from Risk of Rain, well, especially Risk of Rain 2, where the longer you take to do the level, the harder it becomes. And I do like that. It tends to add some pressure, and pressure is good in these kind of games because it makes you sweat, and that's really cool. There are also temporary power-ups spread throughout the levels as well, which add up more options for killing, which is of course increased speed or better health regeneration, and obviously you can get health packs as well, which is pretty cool. Although I think a couple of more ways to get your health back I think would be better. That was the only thing I tend to find that was a miss, really, was getting more health as and when I could. Now, like I said, you collect and earn gold to use on buying new classes, but also on permanent upgrades back at the game's hub world as well, which is pretty standard. You can equip whichever class you want to play as, unlock permanent upgrades if you have the gold, and then once you get to a level, by progressing through the levels themselves, you can then choose which level you go back in and do as well, which is pretty cool. The game also has multiple difficulties, so you can adjust it to your level of sweat depending on how challenging you like your stuff. I didn't have any game-breaking bugs or glitches, although the only things I encountered were some walls and obstacles I could literally walk through like I was Shadowcat from the X-Men, and there was also some enemies that went into a T-pose when killed. But other than that, for an early access arena-style shooter, Revenge of the Mage is actually a lot of fun, and a game I definitely recommend checking out, especially on its full release. It's also very sensibly priced as well. So I do want to add, though, that it runs horrifically on Steam Deck, which is a shame, and is something I hope the developer gets sorted for full release, because I think this kind of game would lend itself to being on the Steam Deck itself. But at the moment, it's just not great. But anyway, please let me know down below what you think. Have you checked out Revenge of the Mage? And again, thank you very much to the developer for providing me with the code. And as always, thank you very much for watching.